All right, we're back on the Facebook page, Sun City Live Streams. We're at the Beto Orourke rally. We're also on Periscope TV. Crowd's getting bigger and bigger. Media's ready. I don't see any counter protesters yet. There was supposed to be a big crowd out here. I'm not sure if they're going to show up or not. Cowboys fan out here. I'm hot. It's already hot. It's hot out here.
Child attention has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Child attention has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Child attention has got to go.
Okay, they're trying to gather the crowd over here. Get ready for Beto. They're making a crowd. Zaira, they are saying, hey, hey, ho, ho, child detention has got to go. They're gathering everybody around. Let me go show you what this crowd looks like over here. Go back up on this mountain. Again, it's Ben with Sun City Live Streams out here at Clint. Crowd steadily getting larger. See, they're setting up the crowd here, arranging the people so Beto doesn't have to scream too loud. Here comes the media. Come take pictures from up here. Sun City Live Streams. We always got the best advantage. And across the street, there's the protesters. There are a few protesters across the street, it looks like. Trump 2020 signs out in the distance. All right, guys. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, the Periscope stream is going to stay up. The Facebook stream you're watching is going to be gone on occasion, but the Periscope stream is going to stay up. So if you don't have an account, you don't need to worry about an account. You just need to go to the webpage, or if you have the app, you can get on it with the app. Sun City live streams on Periscope. That one's going to stay consistent. That one's going to stay up running. I'm going to go across the street to talk to the opposition over here. So there's some people over here with their Trump flag. Let's go find out what's going on over here. See what the other side has to say. All right, let's go over this way. See if I can cross the street without getting ran over. All right, let's go over here and see what's going on.
Trump is your president. Trump for 2020.
Let me take a picture of you idiots.
Here, how's that?
What's up, man? How are you, man?
Who's the idiot in the street? Raise your hand.
Sides on the other side, brother.
We got Trump supporters here. What do you think about this crew over here?
I'm sorry.
What do you think about this crew over here?
Bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
They want
Can I
to
just ask you what you think he's done for you?
a lot.
Like what?
A lot.
What name
Strengthen
some
the
things.
military, economy,
The
strongest
What's he
economy.
done for you?
What's he done for me?
You paid more taxes.
I haven't paid any more taxes.
Not
You
infringing
would've
on our
paid more
constitutional
taxes.
He wants-
rights.
What was
Sec-
it?
Not infringing on our constitutional rights.
For the second amendment.
Nobody's infringing on your rights.
Ma'am,
You're here doing
Did you
that.
serve this country?
My husband was in the army for 26 years.
And you're supporting that over
I
there?
certainly am supporting that
Well, then you're
because I
safe on
don't
that
think
side, ma'am.
I
Thank
don't
you.
Okay.
think kids belong in cages.
So you're right.
Let me
Have
tell
him in
you
the street,
something.
right here. Let's just put him right here in the street and let him go free. That's what you'd rather have, right?
I think that
Okay.
I
Do you know?
not
Do you know
think-
they come unaccompanied, right? So they come. So the parents just send them by themselves.
I deal with these. No,
Yeah, they do.
I
they do.
deal with people every single
Well, good
week.
for you, man.
Their
Okay.
parents
There's
and
a way.
kids.
Really?
And if your kids were
Really?
treated like, do you have kids?
Really? Yeah.
Do you have kids?
Yeah.
There's a way.
You would want
But
them
there's
treated
there's
like
a way.
that.
There's a way to do it.
There's a
So-
legal way
You
to
don't
come into
treat
the
them
country.
like shit.
How do you treat them like?
If
So how
the
do you treat them?
president,
You don't
if
give
the
them
pres-
toothpaste. You
if
don't
the-
give them
If the
adequate
president,
food.
if the president told
This
him
is
not to,
America.
the president told him specifically, if you come here, this was going to happen. There's
No, he
a legal way to come into this country, and there is a legal
They
way
are
to do
coming
it.
legally.
Okay?
Really?
We have asylum laws.
Oh,
They
really?
are coming legally. Don't say
really?
that.
Okay. When you,
Yeah, they are.
Why don't
They
you
have
open your doors to your
paperwork.
house and take some in?
I do.
Yeah, we can take it.
Actually, I do.
Oh, well, that's so nice. Okay.
Yeah. And so what do you do for anybody?
Put your address on
Please,
Facebook.
please don't ever tell me
Please
that you're a
click.
Christian.
I'm not. Who said I'm a Christian? Who said I'm a
I
Christian?
hope to hell you're not.
Oh, I'm not.
Good.
I
I'm
just
glad-
believe in God. I don't believe in no religion at all.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Anybody that claims
But
to
I
be
believe in this.
Christian.
But I believe in this president.
Wow. I hope you get whatever you deserve with this president.
for coming. You can come and join us there.
Oh, we're good. We're good. I'm just saying, they're all mostly accompanied minors. The system's overflowed, and then like you guys complain. So if you guys just run roam in the street, yeah, let's open up the doors and then let's go for free in the field because that's what you'd rather have.
Actually, who do you think is in the fields?
Well,
yeah.
Are you in the fields
Are you?
picking shit all day long?
Yeah, it's
in the
called-
sun?
Yeah.
Really? I live across
It's called
from
visas.
fields.
It's called work visas. It's not that hard.
Can I ask you guys a question? I'm going to ask all four of you a question. So last Thursday, the Senate passed a $4.6 billion bill to give support to the Border Patrol and all the agencies.
Has it been passed by the House?
Yeah, House passed it the same day as the Senate.
Did Trump support sign
The
it yet?
Trump has not signed it yet, from what I know, and I'm sure he will because both House and Senate. Well, let's say he does. Okay. Do you believe that's going to help the situation on your side? What you think as far as the kids? Because he hired more immigration judges.
It's more a legal thing.
Okay,
But
okay.
hopefully it will help
Okay.
the situation.
Okay, and another statistic I like to ask on both sides is, so they did a rapid DNA testing on the kids on 1,000 families. I don't know if you saw the DHS Homeland Security Director with a committee investigation they did a few weeks ago, and he said 15% of the children based on this rapid DNA testing over 3 days, were trafficked children. They did not belong to any family.
Well, no.
That's his statistic from the DNA testing.
Well, I wouldn't believe
Okay.
DHS any information, but anyway.
Okay.
We
Okay.
deal with those kids
Okay.
and those parents every week.
You're
Okay.
welcome to visit our
Oh, yeah.
shelter one of these
Oh,
days.
yeah, I'm happy to. Which
And
one is
do
the
an
shelter?
interview. It's
Las
in Las
Cruces.
Cruces,
Okay.
El Calvario. We get like 100 people a week.
All right. Yeah, I'm happy to
And
come out.
see-
What days? What times are you open in the shelter for interview?
Monday and Wednesday, we have these people dropped off from ICE.
Okay.
They are
Brings them
all
directly.
parents with children.
Okay.
They have horror stories of why they have left their countries.
Okay.
This is not shits and giggles.
Sure.
I'm going to leave and do this journey for nothing.
Okay.
There's people there.
Okay.
One kid is killed by the gang. What are they going to do? Wait around for the second kid to
Sure.
be killed?
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
One was a police officer who wouldn't cooperate with the local gang. They came and shot him in the head that night and told the mother, if you're not gone, we're going to do your kid next. What would you do?
Oh, yeah,
These
I-
people who are against these people, if it were their family or their kids, I don't think they'd stick around to have them killed.
All right. Fair enough. Watch the traffic there. All right, guys. Just stay hydrated out there. It's hot.
yeah,
It's hot. Mr. Sam Williams, you're running for Congress.
Yeah, I'll be.
All the way
Tumbleweed. Anyway, I came out here because I've been out here several times to figure out what's going on, and I've talked to several journalists that have actually been inside this facility.
Okay. What have they found?
Actually, it's clean. The kids are clean. I actually know the landowner that owns the land behind us and lives just down the street here. And he's out here all the time. And he said he's seen the kids out here playing soccer, having a great time. I mean, they're clean. They've got washers and dryers inside. They're teaching the kids how to use washers and dryers. You know, we heard about the thing about they have no toothbrushes. Do they realize that most of these children, where they're coming from, have never even seen a toothbrush? Our CBP and ICE people that are working inside there, they're teaching these kids how to use this stuff and have better personal hygiene and stuff. The kids are clean. They're bathing. They're everything. And it's just like when people drop stuff off here, the Border Patrol can't take that. There's a reason for that. How do they know that the stuff hasn't been tainted before when you drop it off? They'll say that, oh, it's not tainted because you don't know. That's why we can't give homeless shelters food out of a restaurant. Same reason. Because if one of these kids gets sick because of something somebody dropped off, now the screaming is going to be that the Border Patrol or ICE, messed this kid up with food or whatever they gave him, but that's because somebody donated it and intended on poisoning the children.
Gotcha.
Because it's all a political narrative here. This has nothing to do with what really needs to happen. We can't turn the kids loose on the street. Everybody that's in this facility, contrary to what you'll hear a lot of people say, they're all unaccompanied minors.
Right.
This isn't a place where they put families and separate kids from their family. This is an unaccompanied minor facility.
All right, Sam, we'll talk to you here in a minute.
All right, man.
We're going to go see Mr. Beto Orourke show up out here and give his little speech.
Yep.
Sam Williams for Congress.
Got a Sam Williams supporter here.
Yes, I do. Sam Williams for Congress.
All right, guys, I'm going to try to play chicken over here and run across this street. All right, let's go. All right, we're good, we're good. All right. All right, we're here, and Beto, looks like a van pulled up. I don't know if he's in there now. I imagine this is his tour bus. And if you're watching this on Facebook, I am going to be shutting this stream off on occasion if possibly. But I got the Periscope.tv stream live, and it's running well. It's going to have all the good mics and etc. and all that good stuff. So you might hear a lot of wind on this Facebook stream. Is Orourke in there? He's not in this one, huh?
He'll be here and
He's gonna parachute in. He's gonna parachute in
that would
here.
be nice.
All right, that's a nice RV though.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's nice.
Black and white on the other side.
Who owns this guy? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we campaign for him.
Oh, okay.
Well, we don't. I mean, we're volunteers.
Sure. Where are you
We
from?
did it for the Senate. Now we're from Horizon City.
Okay, all right.
My wife sort of knew him when he was a little boy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But we just support him.
Sure.
Support him for Senate. Told my wife, hey, just throw some stickers on and
Yeah.
around. Yeah, that's great. And we went all the way. This time we went all the way up to Michigan.
Oh wow. How's that thing doing the road? Yeah. Okay, what year is
Air
that?
suspension. 98. Got
Dang,
a
that's good
260
experience.
Cummins diesel. And,
Got a lot of life in here still, huh?
oh yeah.
All right, man. Stay cool.
Yes, sir, man.
So Beto supporters van here. Well, he's providing some shade at least. This is good. Taking advantage of the shade, huh? Yeah. Before it's hot out there, and those rocks just radiate that heat.
I brought the wrong shoes.
Oh yeah, that's
I wanted to be over there.
no. Those rocks
We
are.
weren't planning, but then we got so excited when we saw the clouds that we gotta go.
You gotta go.
But the lady offered me to go inside.
Oh wow.
Air.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, nice people. Nice people. So do you support Beto Orourke?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah? All right. Well, how do you think he did on his debate the other night? Did you happen to watch the debate the other night?
I did.
Uh-huh.
I did. I think he was like, I got all these situations.
Kind of threw him off a little bit?
Yeah.
Do you think his speaking in Spanish is helpful, or do you think it's not beneficial? I mean, a lot of people say, what's the reason? There's no reason, to speak Spanish, but is it important for him?
So.
Yeah? You think it benefited? How about Cory Booker? Did you see Cory Booker speak Spanish?
I'm not sure. I saw him.
Yeah.
I saw everybody, but I don't know. I just know Beto and a couple of others.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting. I did not watch the debate. I saw clips of it, but I found it interesting that Cory Booker thought he should speak Spanish too, but he didn't do very well on his Spanish, but
Maybe
he
that's why I
tried.
didn't pay attention.
That's probably nobody. Yeah, he struggled and he was just all over the place. So poor guy. But yeah. So do you think Beto Orourke is going to be the nominee for the Democrats, or who do you think they're going to pick on?
I hope so.
Yeah. What do you think about Biden and Bernie Sanders and? You think they're too old?
Yeah, I don't think they're.
How about Kamala Harris?
I know there's a lady.
Uh-huh.
Blonde-haired lady. I can't think of her name.
Yeah.
I think she's good.
Okay,
I think she's
okay.
good.
Great. Are you going to vote in the primary for the Democratic? All right, for Beto Orourke?
For Beto.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with that, and let's see how it turns out. It'll be interesting. So at this point, it's anybody versus Trump, right? You'll support.
Oh God, please.
Okay. All right. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people. No matter anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see how it turns out. It'll be interesting.
Hopefully, very good.
Hopefully it doesn't. We don't turn violent in this country, right? It's getting ridiculous. People are taking it probably a little too far, but yeah, it's a little bit dangerous at sometimes.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Are you from El Paso? Or
We've read about 5 minutes from here.
oh, okay, so you're right here down the street. You got the peaceful side of the county. This is nice and quiet.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
very
lucky
nice.
you.
Especially where I live.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
quiet,
Know,
huh?
I know all the neighbors there.
Oh, that's fantastic. Lucky.
Looking after each other.
I got to deal with traffic, so I envy you.
Yeah, it's very nice here in Clint.
All right. Thank you for your time. Stay cool.
You too.
Go out here and fight this heat.
I'll go inside
All right, guys. Again, I am on Periscope.tv and on Facebook right now. Guys, again, if you want to share the Facebook video, do it now because it will not save to Facebook. Facebook is messing up, and it will only save about 1 minute of the transmission. So if you want to get people to watch this and share it right now before it's too late, because like I said, Facebook, that's the only reason I'm using Periscope right now, is because it'll save the video. I can hopefully download it and upload it again later. But I wanted you guys to see this live, when you see what's going on live, and of course share your thoughts. Of course, those comments will stay on the video, but the video won't be with it. So you're gonna miss a lot. You're gonna miss a lot on a later broadcast. So if you're watching now, and decide to leave, I will download it from Periscope because I don't know if I'll be able to save it on this particular phone. So counter protest was expected, but there's only a handful of people across the street who are counter protesting. Let me go up here on the mountain again and feel like I'm the king of the world for a minute. All right, let's get back up here and look at this crowd. They're done chanting what they were chanting earlier. The reporters from all over the place here. They positioned the RV just right to cover up the Trump supporters on the other side. So that was a strategic move, I suppose. Seemed to work. So if when Beto's speaking, he probably won't see any opposition here at this spot.
Hey everyone! Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. And so we're going to have some elected officials here from El Paso kick things off. And to start off, we have El Paso City Rep, Alex Aneo.
Hi, y'all. Can you hear me? Thank you so much for being here. I am up here today to say hello to y'all. It has been over a year that we've been coming out to Far East El Paso County to protest these facilities that do not represent our values.
This is the city council rep.
A year ago, it was children being separated from their families. It is now people standing on each other to be able to breathe. So I want to thank you for being here today, and I want to remind you to be loud, because we need the people inside of that facility to hear us. We need them to know we are here for them, and we are here with them, and we do not support the treatment that they are being had to dealt with. So thank you guys very much.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Cassandra Hernandez. I'm the city representative for District 3.
There's another city council rep.
I'm so proud that everyone is here today. Can you hear me now? Okay, my name is Cassandra Hernandez, city representative for District 3. Thank you all for being here. I'm so proud of everyone who is here today to stand against this inhumane family treatment for these refugees and their families. I have volunteered at some of the shelters, and the stories that I've heard are just unacceptable. I helped a young woman, took her to the airport, and she told me, crying, terrible stories about the treatment that they had coming into the United States, and spending time in custody with the federal government, hot. She had a newborn, she was nursing, she didn't have anything for her baby. And so we're happy that we were able to help her, but this is a story that we see too many times. And so I just wanted to take a moment to thank Beto for organizing this. Everyone coming together. At City Council, we are trying hard to pass resolution to denounce the Remain in Mexico policy. We are trying to denounce the action of the Trump administration. We need your help. We need your support. You need to hold us accountable too at the city. We need to be louder. But thank you everybody for what you're doing here today. Be loud and speak against this inhumane actions that the president is bringing to our country.
Buenos días. Qué gusto verlos a todos ustedes aquí con nosotros. Yo soy David Stout. My name is David Stout. Yo soy el comisionado de la Corte del Condado del Paso. Yo represento el centro, pero ¿sabes qué? Todos estamos aquí porque este es nuestro condado, esta es nuestra ciudad y estamos bien enojados de que estas atrocidades están ocurriendo en nuestra comunidad. I represent Central El Paso County, but I'm out here because these atrocities should not be happening in our own backyard, in our own community. These people go through enough in their own countries. They go through enough trying to get to this country for us to be treating them the way that we are. And that has to stop, and that's why I'm here. I'm happy to join you. Thank you so much for joining us. Gracias.
The county rep. Now here we have another county rep whose wife is on the city council.
Good morning. Thanks for bearing the heat to be here today at this very important event. Bear with me, I just want to make a very important point. I first crossed paths with Beto Orourke over a decade ago when he was a city councilman. And he was pushing forth this radical idea that we should consider legalizing marijuana because of the impact that it was having on our sister city that was being ravaged by violence. It took a lot of courage for him to stand up for something that nobody else had brought up before. I disagreed with him at the time. When I became county commissioner, I saw firsthand the thousands of people whose lives were permanently damaged because they had a low-level marijuana possession conviction on their record. And it's going to affect them for the rest of their lives for a mistake that they perhaps made when they were 19 years old. But Beto was onto something. We overutilize our criminal justice system for problems that don't belong in our criminal justice system. When it comes to issues of low-level possessions of marijuana, the solution has been put them in jail. When it comes to homelessness and somebody who is sleeping in a parking lot because they don't have a place to live, the solution has been put them in jail. When it comes to issues of mental health, and somebody has maybe perhaps an outburst related to their underlying mental health condition, the solution has been put them in jail. And when it comes now to immigration and to migrants who are fleeing desperation, poverty, violence, what's the solution? We are treating them like criminals. And when you treat migrants like criminals, we will always have facilities such as these. We need to take a stand as a community that we should not be treating migrants as criminals. Here in El Paso County, we detain and incarcerate more migrants than any other place in Texas and any other place in the United States. And it's not at a private jail, it's at your publicly taxpayer-funded jail. And it needs to stop. I support Beto because he stood up when nobody else did. He's always demonstrated to have the courage to say the right thing. And in this era where we have a reality TV president, it's very hard to be a genuine politician like Beto Orourke. It's much easier to tweet on a toilet seat than it is to speak truth. So that's why I support Beto Orourke. That's why we're all here today. Thank you all for coming out here. Thank you for everybody else. Vote Beto 2020. Hey, good morning. My name is Joe Moody. You know, just a little bit over a year ago, not too far down the road, Beto and a couple thousand of his closest friends led a march to protest family separation and the inhumane treatment of migrants and those seeking asylum. From that day to today, we saw the tent city in Tornillo come down. The cameras and the eyes of the world slowly turned away from this area. But the reality for the parents and the children being separated never changed. The inhumane, unsanitary, unsafe environment for those held in custody, that's still a reality. That hasn't changed. The struggle for justice is an unending journey in this country. And how we engage in that struggle will define who we are. Make no mistake, this moment is calling us. In a second, you're going to hear from Beto Orourke. And I know every morning he wakes up and he answers that call because he feels the urgency of now. He knows that we cannot be defined by an image.
of a father and daughter clinging together, dead on the riverbank. We are better than that. That is not who we are. But this moment is calling us. Every day he wakes up, whether it's here or anywhere across this country, and he answers that call because he knows it's not just about our future, it's about our children and our grandchildren and who we are as a country. So I'll leave you with this, a question and a challenge. Where will you be when the moment calls you? What will you do when the moment calls you? Because that is where we make the difference. Not just here today, but tomorrow and the next day and the next week and the week after that. Because we can be better as a country and this moment is calling us.
Good morning, El Paso. My name is Lina Ortega. I am a state representative for District
77, and I'm here to support every effort that Beto is doing to help our community. We are a community in crisis, and that has been going on during the Trump administration. It's not a crisis. It's not a new crisis. It's a crisis that has been created because of the Trump administration. I asked myself what I would do if it was my child, my mother, my father, or any family member, a friend. And it's obvious to me that I would help them with shelter and food. And that's not what is happening today. The conditions that are being imposed upon these immigrants is not humane. It is a humanitarian crisis that has to stop. This has to be addressed by our national politicians, and we have to establish policies that provide real solutions. It is incumbent upon all political leaders, whether it be national, state, or local, to do something about this and do something now. Together, if we work together, we can identify and understand those conditions and issues that have to be addressed because of these horrific conditions that we are facing here in El Paso. And I have to say, I am really proud to be an El Pasoan. I'm proud because of the way our community has stood up at times of these crises. We have the Annunciation House. They have been a real blessing to these migrants, and everybody else here, I'm certain, has helped in one way or another. And we have to continue to do that. I fully stand behind Beto. He knows our community through and through. He has lived it, as you all heard from what everybody else has said. This is just not something that he's taken upon because he's running for president. This is something that he's been working on for years, and he knows what he can do once he has our support and our backing, because we really have to stop this. I've known Beto for many years. He's a fighter. He is, and there he is. I'm proud to say that Beto has come. So I'm gonna let him come up here and step up, and yes, Beto, 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 Beto,
Let's welcome him up here.
this is done.
Let me. Yep. Here we go.
Thank you all for being here today. Very, very, very grateful to each of you, to everyone who's already spoken, to all the great people who traveled down to Clint, Texas from other parts of the country, to my friends, family members, neighbors here in El Paso, Texas. Thank you for bearing witness to what is happening in our name right now in the United States of America. The only way this is going to get better, the only way that it's going to change, the only way that we can really be here for those kids is to be here right now for those kids and to share with our fellow Americans just what is being done in our name. This morning, we were in Ciudad Juarez at a shelter called Casa del Migrante, and we met people, our fellow human beings, who are leaving some of the most horrific conditions that you can imagine to come here to a country of asylum seekers and refugees and immigrants. We met a young family who traveled here from El Salvador, traveled through the Chihuahuan Desert for 6 days, talked about being under this broiling sun, talking about literally wearing out their shoes and being on the hot sand, burning their feet. Talked about a woman with whom they were traveling who died along the way coming to this country. More than 8,000 of our fellow human beings over the last 20 years have died trying to come to this country, to join family, to flee persecution and violence, to do work here in this country that no one born here in this country is willing to do. And the moment that they get here with his 4-year-old son on his shoulders, with his wife's hand in his, not trying to flee or evade detection from the Border Patrol, but turning themselves in, they are then taken to a Border Patrol station like this one, kept in a freezing room for 3 days, not being able to see the sun or to go outside, lights on all day, all night, strangers in a strange land, not speaking the language, not knowing what will be next for them. And then though they were seeking asylum, they were returned to Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, where they're now in a shelter awaiting their court date, knowing full well that when they go to that court date, they will come back to a Border Patrol station and spend 2 or 4 or 6 days before and after that court appointment, putting that 4-year-old child through more suffering and more harm. And they are not alone. There are literally thousands of people right now in Ciudad Juarez who have been turned back from the international bridge as they sought to seek asylum in this country, trying to follow our own laws. Thousands more in a Remain in Place program that says that you can file for asylum, but you've got to do it in Mexico. We met a mother who had a 4-year-old child herself. Somebody tried to kidnap that kid, ransom that child back to relatives here in the United States of America. Mexico, for those families who've arrived penniless, without a friend or a connection or a network to join, are subject to those who prey on human misery right here in our binational community of Ciudad Juarez and El Paso, Texas. We are visiting this kind of suffering and inhumanity on our fellow human beings right now. And right here in this Border Patrol station, we know that we have housed hundreds of kids as young as 5 months old as 17 years old. Kids who have been separated, taken from their parents with whom they arrived, with whom they made that 2,000-mile trek to this country. 8-year-old kids taking care of 8-month-old toddlers. Toddlers without diapers, kids without soap or toothpaste or the ability to clean and take care of themselves. An attorney who was able to visit inside said there is a scene of filth and sickness right here in the wealthiest, the most powerful country on the face of the planet,
This is how we treat the least of us right now. But it's not just here in Clint. 2 days ago, we were in Homestead, Florida, where they're keeping 2,600 kids in conditions like these. We're talking about Northeast El Paso. We're talking about Southwest Key in Houston, Texas, that we just visited yesterday. My friend Bob reminded me, this is the largest mass incarceration of children who have committed no crime in the history of the United States, with the exception of the mass internment of Japanese and Japanese Americans during World War II. And I think every single one of us, to a person, would like to think that if we were alive back then, if we were in a position of trust or power or had the chance, we would have stood up against the internment of those Japanese Americans in our country. Well, here we are in 2019, and we have the chance at this moment to do the right thing, to be there for those kids who otherwise will have no voice. And what's so important is that those children know that we are here, that we know that they're there, and that we're going to share with our fellow Americans so that they know what is happening in this country. We want to capture the conscience of America and force the change that will allow us to live to our full promise and potential. We've got to remember that any significant civil rights victory that we've ever enjoyed as a country came not from who's in the White House or those already elected to Congress. It came from people like you who are willing to stand up to be counted, to march, to force those in positions of power to do the right thing. And that's what you're here today. So let's make this commitment to those kids, to ourselves, to the generations that follow us, our kids and grandkids who are watching us right now, to see how we respond at this defining moment of truth. We as a country will never again separate another family. We'll never cage another kid. We will do everything within our power to reunite those families who have already been separated. We will help those countries and their citizens in Central America who have to make the god-awful decision to make that 2,000-mile journey. Those who have suffered through our involvement in that part of the world, whether it's the civil wars in which we participated, whether it's the fact that we are the largest market for illegal drugs on the planet, whether it's our war on drugs that we have visited on these countries and hollowed out their institutions, or whether it's the fact that we have deported people out of our jails into El Salvador and Guatemala and Honduras and literally created the gangs that people are now fleeing. We have some culpability in this, but we also have the opportunity to make it right. Invest in solutions that reduce violence in Central America. Those farmers in Guatemala who are suffering the worst drought that they have ever known, a drought caused not by God, nor by Mother Nature, but by all of us, our emissions, our excesses, our inaction in the face of the facts, and the science has helped to produce that problem in the first place. Let us help them there, where they are. They do not have to suffer or make this journey in the first place. Y luego, let us rewrite this country's immigration laws in our own image, from our perspective here in El Paso, Texas. Never again detaining families, never allowing another dreamer to live another day in fear of deportation back to a country they do not know because we decide to make them U.S. citizens in this, their true home country. Let's make sure that millions more laboring under this sun right now without legal protections, maybe making a minimum wage if they are lucky, but far too often making something less or nothing at all. Their immigration status used as leverage against them to keep them in some kind of modern day bondage. We are going to legalize America and allow people to come forward and contribute to their full potential so that we realize our full promise as a country. You all with me on this? I am so grateful to you, to all of the advocates and the activists who have been here day in and day out, who led vigils just like this one to make sure that this came to our attention, to the members of the press, who are not the enemy of the people, but the best defense against tyranny. And to everyone who today is going to share this story with everyone in your life to make sure that at this moment of truth, we all do what is required of us so that our kids, generations that follow, are proud of us, the people of 2019. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you.
It leads to a site that doesn't exist, and they asked that people talk to Annunciation House for donations. Annunciation House got donations, tried to give them to the facility, and they said no. So they're just putting people in a loop. So just so you know, the website doesn't work. Yeah. Thank you for letting us know that. Yeah. Thank you, Beto.
That was Beto Orourke, everyone. What his thoughts are here. We got the Trump protesters in the back. People trying to climb this mountain, they shouldn't be climbing it. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Careful, careful, careful. All right, guys, so there you have it. We got a big crowd, of course, following Beto Orourke over there. All right, so now you're gonna have supporters surround Beto Orourke. So we're gonna go out here and talk to some of these supporters to see what they thought of the speech. All right, what did you guys think of Beto's speech?
Amazing.
It's great.
Do you guys support him for president?
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
I don't know
You're
all
not
of the candidates, but I like him a lot. So
all right, good
I
deal.
would like to support him.
Okay, all right.
Should.
Hi, Dana. It's hot out here.
I know. I got you my video.
I was in pain while I was.
I was like, oh, I don't know how your equipment doesn't just like get hot and like freak out.
I don't know either. It's just I don't know. It's hot though. If I'm touching this stuff, it is hot. This one is well, you got a lot of air, but this one has a lot of stuff surrounding it. But it does okay. Did your stuff get hot?
Well, my phone wasn't hot, but I have like a basic iPhone.
Oh, that'll probably do it.
Mine is like from 2018,
Yeah.
early 2017.
Yeah, I just had to buy this one because my other one just wouldn't do it anymore. So I went through too many miles. So what did you think about his speech? What are your thoughts?
You know, Section 1325. He needs to address that.
Yeah.
You know, decriminalize. If we're gonna talk about ending a lot of these detention centers and the way that they treat immigrants and asylum seekers, then we need to talk about decriminalizing immigration and addressing it as a civil matter instead of a criminal matter. And so Section 1325 is something that needs to be repealed.
So you don't think that they're actually focusing on the core problem from here that will solve the whole problem?
Well, I don't think it's not going to solve the whole problem because it's a multi-levels of laws. But I think mentioning something more specific like Section 1325 or the Flores settlement. But he's very passionate and he has shown consistent support since 2018. He was in Torneo several times, December 23rd, December 15th. He was also there on Father's Day last year too. He talked about it during his town halls consistently. So, he's never been dismissive, and I really appreciate that. So we need to go a little further and address the specific items like Section 1325 and the Flores settlement, because the Flores settlement sets the standards of laws and the standards for care for these children and how long they can be detained. And that's a central issue for child detention is the length of detention and being separated from their families and being able to be released to their sponsors. If they're, most of these sponsors are the close family members. And if they cannot be released to their close family members, then they will release them to third parties, and that puts the children in more jeopardy the further they are, the sponsors are away from their family members.
Okay, so what do you think as far as his chances of becoming the nomination for the Democratic Party?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you watch the debates?
No, I did not. Okay. I was grading.
Oh, you got the papers.
Grade.
Yeah, that's
I'm always grading.
You're always grading, I know. So, you're constantly busy.
Yeah, but let me think here. There are a lot of good candidates. There are a lot of good candidates. I have not chosen a specific one.
Sure, you're keeping your options open.
Yeah,
good. Actually, I think it should be that way. Yeah.
And listening to what each one has to offer. I think he's very charismatic.
Sure.
And you look at him, you're like, wow. But also I want some more particular
content,
policy.
right? Yeah. So you're saying you're voting for Trump 2020? So you're saying.
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure that was true.
Okay, make it on record.
Let's make it on record.
Hell no.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So everybody watching it, she's not going to vote for Trump. So this is a Democrat voter here. She's just not sure who yet, which is good. I think it was good last time in 2016 you had Hillary and Bernie, and then you know how that turned out. So I mean, there's options.
My favorite last year was Bernie.
Yeah.
And I'll go with Democratic Socialist too.
Sure.
To me, it's who has really good ideas and who has really good policies that address the general will.
Sure.
And the general will is like what benefits most amount of people.
Sure.
So yeah.
So who do you think will be able to compete with Trump ultimately?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I know you want me to say who I like.
Well, I mean, there's a few front runners, right? Biden, Bernie, Elizabeth Warren,
I think
Kamala.
we need somebody who is specific on policy and someone who is really strong. And,
So we'll have to see, right, how it turns out.
Yeah. I have two people in my mind.
Of course.
But I don't want to say who I favor right now.
Of course. You're smart by doing that. Some of these people have already made up their minds and haven't heard the policies yet.
Yeah.
It's too early, I feel.
Yeah, I think it's too early.
Yeah.
But I do have some of my first impressions.
Okay, good.
So,
Good. All right, well, let's see how it turns out.
Someone with a really good, strong will.
Yeah.
Someone that can really stick up for themselves.
Sure.
That will address the big elephants in the room. And someone who is very specific in their policy and has good ideas.
And no more name calling.
No more name calling. Yeah, I don't know. It depends. I mean, sometimes you gotta.
Sometimes
you gotta call a horse a horse.
True. That's true. All right. All right, Diana. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right.
Stay cool.
You too.
It's hot. All right. All right. Lots of supporters out here. Maybe they're not Beto supporters, but they are looking for the children to be released from this situation they're in. It's not a good idea in their mind.
I'm gonna talk about it.
Oh, very cool. It is very hot out here. These rocks that we're standing on increase the temperature probably 5 degrees easily, possibly even 10 degrees. You know? We are the wall. Hi. What did you think of Beto's speech?
Good.
You like it? Is he your choice for president of the Democrats, or are you still deciding?
He is.
He is? He's the guy? Are you from El Paso? All right, good. So Beto, here's a Beto voter right here. We got a few others that we've talked to already. All right, so here's the protest. I'm going to go talk to the counter protesters now and see what their thoughts are about what Beto had to say. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, they were talking about that.
What did you think about Beto's speech?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look at the size of the rally. Compare them to Trump's rallies.
How do you think he's going? How do you think? Did you watch the debates?
It's a change when Beto started talking Spanish.
Beto started talking Spanish. A lot of people turned it off.
Even what's his name?
Cory Booker. That one, I gotta say, that was terrible, man. That was absolutely. Cory Booker was ridiculous, man. He shouldn't have done that.
The worst part of it was when they asked them the second day. They asked them if they would give free healthcare to all illegals.
Oh, right.
They all raised their hand.
Everybody said
That's
yeah.
not right. We don't have healthcare. We work hard.
Sure.
It's too expensive.
Sure. Do you think if they change that policy for the illegal immigrants, do you think they'll have to open it up to Americans also who don't have insurance? Do you think they'll be forced to do it? Would that benefit Americans or would it hurt?
Free healthcare is not the solution.
Right.
Affordable medicine is.
Yeah, that's right. They should
what the
be.
lady was saying right now.
Sure.
In Mexico, they get free healthcare. No, they don't. It's affordable medicine.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
If you work in the maquila making 70 pesos a day, you could afford medicine.
Yeah.
Not here, it's too expensive.
Yeah, and that's why we go to Mexico.
What's that going to do?
Yeah.
Hike up prices.
Hike up the price. You're right, because they're going to
taxes because we have to keep up with that.
Very good point. Yeah. All right, that's good points. Good points. And why do you think they don't understand?
Why do
you think this side over here, the Beto supporters, they don't quite understand what you just said? Why do you suppose?
Because they're all about military.
Okay.
And I guess they prefer illegals more than Americans. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense too. Makes sense.
How
you doing? Yeah, how you doing? It's hot up there, man.
In the UK, everybody has healthcare. They get taxed 50%.
They get taxed very high.
And there's people waiting in the hospital hallways for 4 months.
Yeah.
They just need to read a little bit.
Yeah, and it's the same with the dental care over there also. Yeah. That's why it's a joke, but it's true that everybody has bad teeth over in Britain. One reason they don't have fluoride in the water, but another reason is their dental care is not available. It's only on only emergencies they get to use it. So that's the kind of situation we stand to get. That's the face if they do go through with this plan. Right, you're right. I agree with you on that completely.
It's a very expensive plan.
It really is.
It's right bankrupt the whole country.
Yeah. So we go from freedom of choice to being chosen for. Yeah, and that's not American.
And they're already taxing it so
they can.
It's not like. Well, it is kind of like Obamacare. You don't.
Sure.
If you don't want it, you still have to pay a fine.
Yeah.
And that's not right.
And you have to pay for it regardless, even if you're healthy young man.
Like for me, it was too expensive. So
Yeah.
I had to pay the fine.
Yeah.
$700 per person.
Yeah.
And like $350 per child.
Yeah, it's pricey. My insurance is very pricey. The one insurance I have.
$1,000
Yeah.
I had to pay a year.
Yeah.
For something I couldn't even get.
Sure. All right, man. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. All right, we're talking to some Trump supporters over here and some. I wanted to ask Beto how he felt he did in his debate, but I don't want to go back in that jungle or in that heat. It's too hot. All right, are you guys going to be out here tomorrow? Veronica Escobar and AOC is going to be out here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you're going to have about 20 Democrats out here as well. Yeah. Not sure of the time yet, but if you watch the Sun City live streams, it'll be posted. All right, I'll let you know, man. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. Stay cool. All right, we're going to go across the street here and see what candidate Sam Williams has to say about this. He's running for Congress.
I'm sure you mentioned the disrespecting the American flag, flying a flag right next to it on the same pole on one side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really make America.
Yeah, you shouldn't fly the flag that way. You're right.
Disrespecting all the veterans that died for their freedom.
Agreed, man. How long are you guys? Are you going to be out tomorrow also? Because are you going to come out tomorrow as well?
Is it here?
Yeah, they're going to be here. Escobar and AOC and a bunch of others. They're going to be visiting. They're going to be touring in here. And they'll probably come out and give a press conference as well.
Yeah, we'll talk with the.
Okay, so you're just right here. You said.
Yeah, I'm in Horizon right now.
Awesome.
All right. I got a couple more days off. So.
Hey, that'll work. Yeah, I'll be out here tomorrow too. I look forward to seeing you guys out here. It'd be great. Stay cool. Well, you got that nice little RV there. You're going to be cool. I'm the one that needs an umbrella out here. All right, let me see if I can get a good. Yeah, let's go, man. Sam Williams running for Congress over here. I did not see Anthony Ajuero for Congress out here. Maybe he'll be out here tomorrow. If he is out here, Anthony, you come see me. Hi. How are you?
Good. I'm for all people.
For all people.
All people.
Hey, believe it or not, she's on the other side of the fence, but we're both in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Across the board.
I believe that the media and politics are dividing us, and I think that when we talk to each other about real issues, we have more things to agree about than not.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to, talking about what's going on with this facility, we're both on the same page. You can't let the kids, you can't just put them on the street. What are you going to do with them?
Were you able to hear what Beto said? His speech? Did you hear anything?
I don't really listen to him.
Okay.
You know
What did he say?
Essentially, you know, the people coming over should be given, you know, everything that America has to offer. It's a very, very brief summary. And, you know, it's been his platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
I helped on his Senate campaign.
Yeah.
And now we're helping with the presidential campaign.
Sure.
I personally like him a lot. I have found him to be very. I feel like he kind of, and you can correct me, but I feel like, you know, the last president I liked was Jimmy Carter. And he wasn't the best president.
No.
He was the best man.
He was the best man at the time. See, that's the thing.
He's still the best man. Are you kidding me? Find someone who lives up to what that man is.
Yeah, he does do a lot of humanitarian work. That guy's.
You know the thing about Jimmy Carter, people don't realize is he was a submarine commander. This guy has a set of ponies on him.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a submariner.
I mean, I just like he had a mock election.
That's why he's
great,
able.
and I was like,
Hey, that's why he's able to take all the crap that people give him. This guy lived under this thing for a long time. Then he went into, you know, took his family business over, him and his brother. Of course, we all know about Billy Beer. If somebody's got any of that, don't drink it. I'm sure it's bad. But what I see is the same thing. You can't put the kids on the street. There's no right or wrong answer right now. That's our biggest dilemma. Is what is the solution? The solution is we have to cut the head off the snake. Nobody wants to talk about
Tell
that.
me what that means exactly.
How do you kill a snake?
But what do you? So what is that?
The snake right now is the people that are being pushed across. A lot of the people are being abused all the way up for profit. This has nothing to do with illegal immigration or people immigrating to the United States. What I honestly think is there's people helping these people understand how to get into the U.S., right?
You don't think they're just fleeing famine and
I've been down there.
poverty?
They're fine, but poverty exists right here in this country, just as bad as where they're coming from.
So you don't think they're actually seeking asylum?
No, they want the American way of life. I mean, everybody wants to come here. I mean, just like I was telling you about my son-in-law.
Yeah.
He wants to come here too. I mean, he lives in the UK.
Yeah.
But he's tired of like the universal health care thing, right? Is killing him there because they can't with universal health care, the government decides who lives and dies.
Do they not have any private? I will tell
They
you this.
don't.
I will
It's
tell
all-
you this.
it's all public
I
funding.
think our insurance system here is for shit.
Well, it
had
is.
a migraine. I had treatment in the U.S. I paid $500 a month for my insurance, and I still got a $4,000 bill for migraine treatment. I was in Paris, the exact same treatment. I paid $450.
Out the door.
Done.
The
No,
problem we have in America is with the healthcare system falls back all the way to the pharmaceutical industry and profit.
Oh.
Because everywhere else
every time,
in
whether
the
it's
world
Wall
it's
Street,
cheaper.
whether it's pharmaceuticals, no matter what, you let them make a raging profit. I mean, out of control profit.
Yeah, and see that's the thing. You can't. I understand free market, but there is a point where we're creating, and the medical system in the United States isn't creating.
All right, this is Mr. Sam Williams. He's running for Congress in District 16. Talking about healthcare and talking about the immigration system and how it is tied together. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end this stream on Facebook, but I'm going to keep it running on Periscope. So if you are wanting to watch it, you want to keep watching, go ahead to the periscope.tv and look for Sun City live streams, and you'll find the stream on still there. So guys, again, Facebook is going to delete all this from our page because it's having issues today, but Periscope hopefully will save it on that website. So I'll talk to you soon, and I'll talk to you very soon. We will be out here tomorrow. For those who are asking, not sure what time yet. Most likely we'll be here about 9 o'clock again, with expectations that Veronica Escobar, AOC, and the others are going to be here as well. So, and we're expecting another crowd, probably this size, maybe a little larger, maybe a little smaller, not sure. Probably very few people, I don't know. We're going to find out. But we're going to be out here either way. So tune in tomorrow. Hopefully Facebook, again, will have its stuff fixed up. If not, we'll live stream again on both channels and then repost it on Facebook. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching, and I really, really appreciate your shares and all the comments and everything. It's Ben from Sun City Live Streams, and thank you. I'm going to end this broadcast.